So, I don't normally do this, but Splatoon 3 is getting a new patch tomorrow, and I would like to talk about that because there's some interesting stuff in here. So, let's go ahead and start. It releases on the 25th, and it has support for the new amiibo that they're releasing. There's changes to communication that basically just means that you won't lag as much, I think. Now, here's the interesting stuff. First off, Fizzy Bomb. They nerfed that by a quarter of a second. It takes longer to recover ink. I wonder why they did that. Could have just nerfed LDE, but they didn't do that. Don't know why. The next thing is points for special. They changed Flingza, Sloshing Machine, and Reflux. I don't know why they changed the Flingza. I didn't think it was that bad personally. I get the Reflux and I get the Sloshing Machine, but why the Flingza? It was already outclassed by this. Maybe it's just me. I've never really just hung back with it, so maybe it was just me. Changes to Splatfest. These are small, they're not major. Basically, you just get a little icon. It shows the icon for both teams, basically. The next thing is, you know how there's like Mogai in the sky? Is that the plural for Amogus? How like people draw like little icons and stuff, and usually it's an Among Us thing. You can report that now. I'm not saying you should report that. Oh god, I just made an Among Us joke. Report dead body. Next thing, other changes. I don't really understand a bunch of these. I'll try to explain it though. Information like the name of the current mode and progress through a challenge, that will now be displayed when opening the lobby menu during matchmaking. What is progress through a challenge? Do we have challenges? Next thing, when playing alone, immediately after choosing keep going or change gear then go, the player can now use the minus button. Basically, you can just back out more. It's a feature that you can do like once if you sign up for like a turf war or a ranked match, but if you hit continue, you can't. I think that's addressing that. In the lobby or Grisco, when the player can select OK or Yeah when joining a friend, a sound effect will play and the controller will vibrate. That's worded weirdly for me. I think it means like if you're joining someone else and they're mid-match, maybe? It'll tell you when it's done. I think. Don't quote me on that. The last thing here is improved efficiency for matchmaking. That was coming. We all knew that was coming. The main thing is they wanted to fix people who were just sitting back and spamming Tentamissiles. Fizzy Bomb. Wonder why that was. The next update will focus on new features. I'm assuming that means new weapons, but I'm hoping it's Big Run. That would make me happy. Apparently they're also doing changes to the tricolor attack mode. I don't know what they're doing, but it's scheduled to release at the end of the current season, so who knows. Now we get into the bug fixes. Some of these aren't that interesting, like fixed an issue where the gear ability Ink Saver Main was not being activated when using brushes and holding ZR. Like, that's not that interesting of an ability. I didn't even know this was broken. Apparently, occasionally it just didn't work. So we might run through a few of these. Fixed an issue with the tent umbrella where the launched umbrella's hit detection was farther forward than intended. Did they just quietly nerf the tent umbrella again? Fixed an issue with moving long distances with the Zipcaster where certain inputs could allow the player to use their main weapon even while moving. Oh boy. They also fixed the Splatana stamper where you could just swipe real fast. Now, fixes to multiplayer. Fixed an issue where rollers would ink surfaces they weren't touching when rolling in a way that clips into terrain. I think that was a thing in 2 as well, actually. Fixed an issue where the sloshing machine spiral would deal damage when hitting an opponent in an Inkvax vacuum area despite the opponent being entirely inside the area. So basically, sloshing machine could kill through an Inkvac. Wow. Fixed an issue where point sensor or toxic mist would disappear without activating when hitting certain terrain or an ultra stamp. Fixed an issue where burst bombs would disappear without activating when hitting certain terrain. Same thing with splash. Well, I think I saw a tweet of that actually. Booyah bomb would not ink the ground correctly. Ultra stamp would not block. Oh boy. Fixed an issue where ultra stamp would not block enemy bombs blast waves. Fixed an issue where the Ultra Stamp would not block fully charged shots from a charger. Oh dear. Fixed an issue where Ultra Stamp's repeated stamping attack would not deal damage to the opponent. Play the clip. I still don't know how I didn't die there. Fixed an issue that would prevent the Ultra Stamp's repeated stamping attack from properly inking the ground. This thing was terrible. It was worse than I expected. I thought it was broken already, and here I am reading the patch notes, and I'm learning somehow it's worse. Fixed an issue that allowed Ultra Stamp's repeated stamping attack to deal damage to enemies on the other side of thin walls. So basically, this thing was terrible, but it could hit through thin walls. Yay! Fixed an issue where the Ultra Stamp's mid-air spinning attack could not deal damage to opponents on the ground. Occasionally, you would just jump attack and nothing would happen. How? How did they break this thing so bad? Fixed an issue where hitting terrain at the instant an Ultra Stamp was thrown would cause an explosion in a different location than where it hit. So basically, it was a worse burst bomb that was larger, because it wouldn't even land where you threw it. Fixed an issue where hitting an enemy on the other side of a thin wall with the Trizuka would deal damage. There's a lot about thin walls in this, aren't there? Fixed an issue with Wave Breaker where its waves would not be visible. I think I've encountered that before. Fixed an issue where the wave breaker would just not activate when placed on terrain at a certain angle. Fixed an issue where placing a wave breaker overlapping an opponent. This was in the competition, wasn't it?
Cleared that first platform, so they don't have to worry about it in the future. Even if they make it to overtime, they'll have 60.
Huh. Apparently, if you place two of these tacticals at the same time as well, just cause both to die. Fixed an issue with overtime in Rainmaker where an announcement about taking the lead that differs from the actual result would be shown when the Rainmaker is dropped at the moment a team takes the lead. It would say that we lost the lead even though we just picked up the Rainmaker. Fixed an issue in Rainmaker where a player would get the Rainmaker at the instant its barrier is broken if the Rainmaker was returned to the center just as someone was trying to touch it. Oh, they fixed the area where you can just climb out with the crab in mincemeat. So you can't do that anymore. Stop throwing matches just to get out of bounds in ranked, please. Fixed an issue in Sturgeon Shipyard where players were able to get on top of a pipe outside of the stage boundaries. Salmon Run, let's start here now. Fixed an issue where player hitboxes in life ring form were smaller than intended. Fixed an issue where a launched umbrella would have a large rebound when making contact near a what? Oh, no, I remember now. It's an issue where, like, you would launch an umbrella, and then it would just fly up into the sky. Fixed an issue where game movements would slow down if a player used a jetpack to reach the top of an egg basket. Why was that even a thing? Fixed an issue where bombs would be thrown into a flyfish's weak point, and then they just casually bounce out. Fixed an issue where players attacked by a Moz near the water of certain terrain would be blown far into the air. Fixed an issue where players could avoid taking damage by jumping when a flipper flopper attacked. That's kind of a good change, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why you would have it where you could just hop over it. Like, it's clearly a large splash. Fixed an issue where players would be pushed into stage terrain when attacked by Koozuna. The amount of tweets that I've seen where people just clip through the ground. Ooh, glad that's fixed. Fixed a problem where simultaneously pressing certain buttons at the reward pickup station would cause the game to crash. Fixed an issue where ability changes due to secondary gear abilities would not be immediately reflected when changing gear in the lobby. Thank you, we can now actually test our gear. Fixed an issue where buying gear from merch would just make it free. So that's about it. So maybe I'll do more of these. I don't know. It's, as it said, primarily just bug fixes, changes to weapons, all three of them. So we'll have to see when Big Run releases and all that stuff, because I don't think it's gonna happen this month. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know how to end this, actually. Play the stupid hammer clip again.